Let's talk the New Orleans Saints and the Washington football team. The New Orleans Saints are on the road as 2.5 point favorites in this one. Actually, there's a 1.5 at BetMGM. There's a 2 at DraftKings, a 2.5 at FanDuel. So pick your poison, however you want to go about that. 44.5 is available on the total. Steven, let's kick things off with you. Saints are on the road at the Washington football team.
I like Washington here as a teaser leg. Anywhere between 7.5 and 8.5 is probably what you're going to get, depending on what time and day you listen to the pod or watch us on YouTube. But buying the points here on an underdog with a low total of 44.5, always a good practice. Mo Nawara, our senior writer, also pinpointed this as one of his favorite teaser legs. You can find that teaser leg article at thelines.com. You can just search teaser legs to find it. The angle for me here is very similar to last week when we faded the Saints offense against the Giants. We're simply betting on, to me, the better offense for the style of football played in the 102nd season of the National Football League. The Washington offense is 13th in DVOA. The Saints offense is 18th. The Washington offense is 18th in EPA. The Saints are 19th. 9th in yards per play for Washington. The Saints are 28th. 9th in explosive plays for Washington. The Saints are 29th. So give me the extra points here in a teaser leg and a low total. On top of that, the Saints offensive line is dealing with injuries to their center, Eric McCoy, their tackle, Teron Armstead. Both didn't practice Wednesday. Neither played last week. So monitor their status. But this to me sets up quite nicely for a teaser leg. Brad, how do you see this one?
Yeah, the injury report is, I think, the key here. You mentioned the 2 key missing offensive linemen for the Saints, and it does seem to be having an effect on, some of their pressure stats allowed, some of the adjusted line yards that they're having. It's been a top 5 offensive line for years, and it doesn't look like that at the minute. And then on the Washington side of the ball, key players missing from practice yesterday. Antonio Gibson didn't play. Curtis Samuel wasn't there. Guard Brandon Scherf wasn't there. So to me, I think possibly my favourite look, there's 44.5s out there. I'm not a fan of Heineke. I think he's getting worse and worse each week as the league gets more tape on him. Everyone still remembers when he burst onto the scene in that Bucks game in the playoffs last year. But I think the performance is steadily getting worse and worse, and he's now a 25th graded quarterback by PFF. And I think the Saints have very much the horses on defense to slow him down, especially with this banged up offensive line and banged up weapons there. And then the Saints are just still running the ball and playing as slowly as possible, and not even running the ball that effectively because of the banged up offensive line. So I thought under 44.5 was a nice look.
Yeah, if you take a look at Heineke, as you mentioned, only above Zach Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Justin Fields, Ben Roethlisberger, Trevor Lawrence, and Davis Mills, as far as where he kind of stacks up right now. So he is certainly regressing. And as you mentioned, Brad, I think this is just a guy that wasn't supposed to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, as it was anyway, who gets thrown into a position where he has to be a starter in the NFL. And finally they figure him out, right? I mean, he's got a little bit of athleticism, but so do a lot of quarterbacks. And I think that, eventually at some point you have to have the skill to go along with it. So yeah, just not for me on this one. It's a complete pass. I don't like the teaser leg here on the Washington side either. I think there's a weird world where this Saints defense does just enough to make it to where they don't score very much at all. And then the Saints could win like a very weird, 20-7 game or something, like some kind of weird, stupid game like that. So, I don't dig that one. Going to be a pass for me.